Hello. How you doing? What's going on? I have noticed there's a lot of intellectual masturbation going on, and I'm starting to feel funny about this situation, as if basically I don't know if hands are already in this plate, and that's why it's going nowhere fast, or if maybe people aren't fully aware of what's going on, and that's why they think intellectual masturbation is going to get us somewhere. Has anybody heard of the Roman circus? The Roman circus is a theory. Give them bread in circuses and they will never revolt. A phrase used by a Roman writer to deploy the declining heroism of Romans after the Roman Republic ceased to exist and the Roman Empire began. Two things only the people anxiously desire: bread and circuses. The government kept the Roman populace I can't say that, happy by distributing free food and staging huge spectacles. All right, we'll get back to that in a minute. Listen to this.
You can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on their board of directors.
Now, before I let him keep going, remember what Kanye showed us, regardless if he's a part of this shit too. Because remember, the devil speak with a forked tongue. They have to give you truth within lies. He already showed us the red strip. Him and the Asian dude showed us the red strip, and how all of these, stations are owned pretty much by 5 groups. Okay. William Cooper was talking about this shit back in the 80s, 70s. Let's keep going.
Can you name those 5 corporations? Is that
not off the top of my head?
Okay.
I could try, but I don't want to take a chance on being inaccurate. But you can trace that yourself.
Okay.
Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper and you get to a corporation, remember that somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. All journalists know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. Write about. You get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year, because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year?
Do you think a rapper that perpetuates death to a nation and their community deserves $2 million? Now, are you guys starting to get it? See, most people fell for the athletes and the media. You didn't realize the entertainers were a part of it too.
No way. I don't care how long he works, and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year.
All these rappers got all this money to flash, throwing it around. You look at the case of Brother Polite, and somebody actually just brought it up. Look, I'll let you hear it via I don't know what this guy's name is, but let's just listen to him.
Man, it's a shame that
Project Studio TV. Let's listen to him real quick. Listen.
The brother Polite, they got caught up in this, man. Now, I wasn't there. The story sounds damaging, but he seemed like he got himself in a situation that he ain't gonna be able to get out of. And you got to stay who you are, man. A lot of these dudes who say they political activists, whatever they want to call themselves, these all spiritual people, they start hanging. Look who they start hanging out with. Brother Polite start hanging out with rappers and entertainers.
Why do you think that? See, when it comes to Polite, and I'm gonna put all this together. When it comes to Polite, people got to remember what Blue Pill told us a long time ago. Blue Pill had a one-on-one with Polite, and Polite said he wasn't ready. He said he wasn't ready to be fully conscious. There was a lot of things in his life that he wanted to experience first. How do you think you're going to get that? Scheming and scamming. Who would allow you to do that? And why did it go the way that it's been going for years? Like, why does it end up with pedophilia? It's like if the Rosicrucians are looking up to Aleister Crowley and he's talking about sexual relations with underages, and then you got York talking this spaceman shit, and then he's touching underages, and then you have Polite talking this spaceman shit, and he's touching underages, and you have Bobby Hemmett talking this spaceman shit, and he's talking about chakras in your butt, and that's how you open your superpowers. And black people all on the internet talking about December 23rd or whatever dumbass date. Oh, they're gonna get superpowers. Where do you think you guys are getting all this gay, homosexual, devil ritual stuff from? You think it was Polite's desire to go to Hollywood, or do you think that's part of the deal? All these people want to be entertainers. That's why I'm saying intellectual masturbation. I'm starting to think all these people are part of the circus. I really do. I think they're part of the Roman circus because it doesn't make any sense. These boule motherfuckers are talking about 1492 Indians in India, and that's not true. Why are you not gunning for that? Why are you talking about everything else? I can talk about wars. I can talk about artifacts. I can talk about these people were here. These people were here. These people were here. Okay, you can do all that crap all you want, or you can just simply chop their head off with that. Why did they make up a name about a country that didn't exist? Why? Why is there, no America in the Bible? This is an all-powerful, all-knowing God. They say everybody knows who this Lord is. He doesn't know the whole earth. Why would the Masons be putting up Giza pyramids and they know there's more pyramids in America? It's not about debating. It's about the Roman circus. What are you guys doing out here? Because all I see is the same shit that the Pan-Africans were doing. Collecting tips, giving little information with no results in the end. Why? That's why I had to step back. Like, there's so many shows I could pop up on and dialogue, but then I just start observing. I'm starting to watch people, and I'm like, you guys seem like you're doing the same thing that they were doing. It seems like you're chasing something when it's not about that. They literally took affirmative action away, and black people are surrounded by Democrats, and they're upset talking about they're not going to get accepted into Harvard. They're talking about, 70 white people just, signed up for Harvard. Okay, if they're so quick to take them and not you, then what the hell have they been around you for? What are they getting? Are they getting information from you? Because obviously you're saying they're not helping you, so...
That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games. And
what's going on right now? Throwing Christians to the lions is a metaphor for what? All logic is being destroyed. Because you can say he's throwing the Muslims to the lions. You do whatever you want. All logic is being destroyed. People are running around about to basically have a debate on somebody's platform that knew of a story about child molestation from the same person that they want to wait to the 7th to find out what a person plead to, even though all 7 charges are wrapped around the same crime. So it doesn't matter how low rank it is or how high rank it is. Plenty of people we know did fouler than their sentence. There's plenty of people. It's the court system. That's how we know it's a faulty system. They're willing to let first-degree murderers get manslaughter. They're willing to let rapists get lewd and luscious or litigious or whatever, lascivious acts. It's like, look at the play on words. Okay, didn't we just talk about Allison Mack? In the last video, didn't we just talk about Allison Mack and how she gave up enough information to knock her bid all the way down to 3 years, a $20,000 fine, and whatever. I guess she had to register or something. But that's it. Wasn't polite hanging with them small hats. So even if he was to get a lighter charge and he's like, oh, I didn't plead to no damn molestation. You can play with words all you want. You're still in the mix. Now, am I knocking my Aboriginal brothers? No. And I want them to keep doing what they're doing. What I'm saying is, I don't see us pushing a certain argument that would make the whole thing like stand out. And that is the 1492 Indians from India that didn't exist. That has to be addressed. Then from there, or maybe niggas is scared. I don't know. Like, dudes have been in the penitentiary. Dudes have been in fights. Dudes have been in shootouts. Dudes have sold drugs. Dudes have done all different types of stuff. But for some reason, they're afraid to have that debate. Who wasn't, who on the East was known as an Indian in 1492? Now on the West, who on the East was known as an Indian in 1492? You will not be able to find one. It's the circus.
basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme.
See, that's why I don't listen to the modern rap. That's why I'm not caught up in sports. That's why I don't trip off stuff like that. And I haven't for a long time. Like at least a decade. You know what I'm saying? I haven't tripped on none of that for a while. Because I'm in a whole nother zone. I'm in the deeper zone. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, the big picture.
Of the entire world. Things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world.
The entire world. Now, he said things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world. What are we talking about? We're talking about a great lie that took place all on the earth. This is a major lie that took place on Earth. So, major lie. You got to look at it like, what would be the point of keeping people dumb? What would be the point of keeping people slow? What are they hiding? See, when you hear about the Roman circus, it has to have a point. You know, we just leave it at, oh, they're molesting the kids. And it's like, no. Way more is going on than that. Black and white are adjectives. You know, you have to look at the race we're calling black. Okay. Before they were black, they were Negroes. When they were Negroes, they were coming up with all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? From music, inventions, all kind of things. Because they actually had root. You know what I'm saying? Negro is going to refer back to Negroes for sale. Okay, how is an Englishman speaking Spanish? Why would he be speaking Spanish? If he's has his own terminology and he just came from Africa, why wouldn't he have a name for these people? Because Negroes have already been in America. It's not his word. It's not his language. But see, that's a trick. It's a play on words. Because you think, oh, well, Negro means black in Spanish. No. Even if you want to use that, Negro is referring to the first people that the Portuguese met in America. That's what they called them. Oh, well, they thought they were in Africa. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's telling us exactly what they look like, and we know where they were. So you can't use DNA tests. You can't use slave boats because they were already here, and we already know what they look like. Okay, they're like, oh, they're nappy-headed. And all right, to a certain extent, because even everybody in Africa ain't nappy-headed. So how far can you go with that? I'm saying that to say this. That is the whole point of the circus. You know what I'm saying? And this intellectual masturbation that people are doing lately, I don't know why they don't realize that people can see it. It's a lot of debates. It's the same thing that the Pan-Africans was doing. It's a lot of debates, a lot of back and forth. But why would you need back and forth? You don't need to prove anything. You need to prove that the whole setup is made because they lied about who was over here. They can't, excuse me. The whole point of white supremacy, because you guys got to remember when this shit is taking place. And before you got the information, who was in rule? Always keep this in mind. There's a thing called white supremacy that takes place. Okay. When do you get into the school system? After white supremacy has already taken place. It's already here. What is white supremacy? White dominance. Okay. What was what was Christopher Columbus? Italian, right? Okay. They're gonna view an Italian even to this day. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think the mafia got away with so much? Because they're viewed as white. Even in the beginning when they weren't. It's like they're still pale skin, still pale face. So that is how it ended up being, you know, Italians are white and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So this Italian, this white person, this European, they're going to say, thought he was in India. This is what they put in their system. This is white supremacy. Just like dinosaur bones, just like DNA tests. That's all white supremacy. None of that shit was needed to take people land and to split people up. This is this Roman circus. Okay, maybe, you know, God bless the dead, William Cooper didn't understand the whole premise of it. Maybe because he was on that alien shit. He's like, yo, there's aliens. You know, we're past all that. We're past all that because we understand the point of a clone. People kept talking about humans. No. They've been cloning shit for the longest. They've been making drawings of fucking fish-looking people. It's like that's where they got that whole concept of an alien. The alien is half human, half sea creature. That is where they got that from because y'all say they never got in space. Y'all saying the earth is flat. They never got off this motherfucker. It's all an illusion. Okay. So let's play your fucking game then. Where would they get the concept of an alien? It's the mix of the Darwin evolution effect about we came from jellyfish and then it turned into an ape and then all, bruh. This is where that shit's coming from. This is white supremacy. But what's the truth behind all that? Behind the aliens, behind God's going to get you, even though people have been raped, shot, murdered, hung, beat, all people, even the people that gave you that science, their daughters have been raped. Like, that's the funny thing. White people have been shot in the fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Raped, thrown off the top tier in the penitentiary. I thought, where's that God then? So obviously that was a play on words because you're reading. So what was William Cooper and, you know, people like Todd and all that, what was they stumbling on? They were stumbling on something they didn't understand because they're not melanated. So they don't have the point to look for something. And that is, why did Christopher Columbus think he was in India in 1492 if it's Hindustan and there's no such thing as India until 1947? Why is the 33rd president involved in or in power when that name is switched? Why is he there when the CIA? Why is he the creator of the CIA? Why is he there when the Roswell crash happened? Why is he there during all this stuff? He even makes it all the way to the 50s because that's what people don't get. It's Truman, then it's JFK or Eisenhower, one or two, but then they clip JFK right off. And then I think Eisenhower led the rest of it, and then it's Lyndon B. Johnson. I think that's how it works. And what they say, who they say was involved. And we just found this out recently with the JFK death, the CIA. Okay, so it's all fitting together, but for what, my friends? Oh, because God can be real. Little white girls getting raped, shot in the head. So the devil is real. Because the shit's still going down, the raping and the adrenochrome, and like I said, Allison Mack trafficking girls in the industry, the Hollywood. So you can't say that it's fake. You can't say this shit's not happening. Kevin Spacey, Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Woody Allen. We can keep going. You know what I'm saying? I even believe some of these women have turned people out. You know what I'm saying? Wanda, the comedian, Rosie O'Donnell. There's a few. You know what I'm saying? That's why the whole gay thing is so prevalent right now, because all these monsters is coming out, like Madonna. Keep listening.
So that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is. So they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated. So they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay.
About what? What would they be questioning them about? We know to the illusion, either if it's real or not, that they tell us the country's 32 trillion in debt. Okay, I can see why from all the effed up mistakes that have happened. What would be the wicked point of everything? What's the purpose of melanated blood dripping on the floor? What's the point? They don't like you. What are you talking about? They let you perform in their cathedrals, their restaurants. You're a part of the circus. You're the whole point of the circus. You start the minstrel show as the first form of entertainment here. Then it switches to the Wild Bill Circus, which is funny because they have some real Indians supposedly that, you know, got their land took, and then they're gonna play in a circus. Weird. What would be the point of all of it? What is it? What's the point of melanated blood dripping on the ground? What's the point of trying to send you somewhere else? What's the point of making you bow down to a Lord that they don't even believe in? What's the point? I'm saying 1492. They messed up. White people don't get it because they're not a part of that story. Plus, they're on the chessboard too. There's a lot of lies that they've been told. They think they're supreme because they're white, not even realizing that they're not white. That's light that they're talking about. This is all code language. the light bearers, the light beings, the Illuminati, the enlightened ones. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they're saying it? You think because they're white? You're crazy. They're talking about light, information. I told you, we're on the West. The Moors were here first. Even if we're calling ourselves American Indian, the first people to bring this enlightenment over here were some Moors. Nobody can front because they invented the game of chess. So I keep telling people it's very simple. It's hidden in plain sight. It's very simple. It's a chessboard. You keep seeing it around. Okay, it's white and black. Okay, in the game of chess, the white piece always moves first. What are they talking about? The white, pale skin thought they were talking about skin. No. Or they knew that they weren't talking about skin and they used it to make white supremacy. But it's not about skin. It's about the light within you. Your body is the black, the unknown. That's why it's the second piece that moves. When you move your hand, it's not you moving your hand. Your brain told your hand to move. You know what I'm saying? You already thought about it. Even if you don't even realize that you're doing it, you've already thought about it. Those are the masters of the board. But look who we have around. We have lunacy going on. A lot of chaotic stuff is going on. Stuff you've never seen before. It's never been this intense. Never been this bad. But why? I'm saying because the chosen people have been asleep too long. And they have downgraded, deteriorated. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a bunch of bad energy. Not realizing that their power in this. They're the how can I say it? Like, imagine if black people realized that they were the original spellcasters. You're the one with the rhyme. You're the one with the rhythm. You're the one making all these vibrational patterns here, but you're not doing any good ones. But who wants you to be like that? Why would they want you to die off? Remember, there's 32 trillion in debt. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to do? They're trying to give this place to China and dip off because remember, they're all European. You have nowhere to go. They keep trying to blame it on Africa. Nah, y'all got DNA tests. What do you mean? What do you mean they can't deport you? What do you mean they can't get rid of you? You have nowhere to go. I thought y'all had DNA tests. I thought you know who you are. See? The circus. They can't get you out of here. All they can do is kill you off. Gangs and crime. 19 million abortions. Broken households. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look at the pattern. And it's working perfectly. Nobody can deny it. It's working beautiful. But why? Why you? You've always wondered that your whole life, melanated beings. You've always wondered that in America. I mean, why they just don't like us? Why is it just us? They let foreign melanated people get stuff all the time. Why is it just us? Why is it just us? Because you are the point. You're the point of all the secrets. It's you. One thing I will give that Boule, Louis Farrakhan, he told the truth when he said that. He said, there's a crypt that the Shriners have. There's a crypt. And he's like, they don't open it. He's like, there's a sword on their symbol because if they tell the truth, they got to be beheaded. Why? Because who's in the crypt? You. The melanated being, the American God, is in the crypt. Been lied to, been put to death by lies, put to sleep. That's that hit in the head. See, it wasn't a man in the east was hit in the head, drugged to the west, and buried up north of Shaw Grave. No. They're talking about all right here. A man in the east. Where did they first arrive? In the east. Was hit in the head, dragged to the west. Okay, you guys talk about this Indian, the shit Andrew Jackson did. Okay, he was moving people around, moving people all over the place. Buried up north of the shallow grave. Your mind. That's the riddle. That's the answer to the riddle. You were buried in your mind. You were taken all over your nation, your land. and you were fed a story about who you were not. This is the whole point of it. People like him, they had to knock off because he was breaking the codes. Who knew if he'd have stayed alive, if he'd have, bamboozled the whole alien talk? Because we already know aliens is an excuse for pyramid building. That is the excuse. Excuse me. It goes all the way back to Egypt. Oh, it's aliens. They just don't want to give melanated people credit. That's why when it comes to the Mayan, what do? They give it to some mongoloids. They make up stories. And if you talk to those mongoloid people, they'll even admit they didn't build those. They know they didn't. Just keep listening.
Player on a football team or a baseball team, $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type of entertainment or any type of entertainment at all?
If people understand that a game is a game, if people understand that nobody, no matter what they do, is worth paying $2 or $3 million a year for, people should be able to get rich if they want to by the sweat of their individual labor. Okay, by way of doing something for the world, not by taking people's minds away from the emperor. It's a game. Football's a game. Football's a game. But let me tell you something. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it. But 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country.
What's that remind you of? Don't that remind you of the bald head dude talking about putting chips in people in 10 years? Nobody talked about that at all. Didn't say a word. But we damn sure know that the coach of the Celtics was cheating on his superstar girlfriend or movie star girlfriend. We know that Bootsy got caught with a gun and locked up. We know Rihanna is pregnant.
You have a reflect Germany and plot the fate of billions. And nobody, when 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it. But 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country. You have a reflection of the society in which that exists. And it is a sick society that is doomed to self-destruction.
So based on that scenario, there's some truth into what these men are looking at.
Absolutely. And that's what makes me so sick, is that I'm trying to wake up a people who want to...
Yo, this is like way back in the day, bro. He's talking about before the whole system crashed, and look at it now. Look at it now. Y'all don't even know what y'all is as humans anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're allowing people to call themselves 15 different things. As a race, as a species, as a gender, it's like lunacy. But why? Like you said, to keep your eyes off the emperor.
Daily basis are proving the ones that I'm warning them about to be right.
Well, so that even though a minority, there are people out there that you recognize are awake to this, if they don't do something about it, they will lose that ability to be free in that way.
That's correct.
Whether they might think, well, I don't need to worry about it because I know what I know and I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. There's a connection.
Who's afraid of the big bad reality? Big bad reality. Big bad reality. Who's afraid? See, like he said, everything is connected. It's not conspiracies. It's conspiracy. But it also works the other way around. It's not just us on the outside connecting all the dots. It's us on the outside getting all the dots connected. So that's not a play on words. That's in truth. So we can't be out here divided, knowing that we all know what's really going on. And yes, the conscious community has been infiltrated by the CIA and the FBI because it always was a part of the CIA and the FBI. That's why you guys never got nothing. Most you got from conscious community is anger, racism, and stories about groups of melanated beings that you are not. They fought you tooth and nail to make sure you don't know that you don't follow anything that the Moors do. And they kept you in Africa, even though you're on territory that is not Africa. They let these American Moors say that they're from Africa, even though the Moors that came over here were from Spain. These were out-Andalus Moors. These were Muslims. That's why the Shriner is fucking with Islam. That's why the Jews that came over here were Catholicists, because they had to convert when they went to Al-Andalus. They weren't allowed to be what you would call an Orthodox Jew. No. They had to morph both styles, and they came. That's how Catholicism started. That's why over here back in the day, even with Pocahontas, what's the dude, the bad guy? Shit, he got that big ass cross on. You know what I'm saying? No, never mind. I'm tripping. I'm thinking about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but still. I can understand why I'm thinking of that, because that he was a Catholicist. He had a big ass cross on his shit. Okay, that's who came over here. You know what I'm saying? In South America, that's why they all got all Latino people be having them big ass fucking Jesus candles and shit, and they spiritual system. They say it's mixed with voodoo, but it's like not really, because even them Haitian dudes be wearing crosses. It's like, hold up. I don't think this is any real stuff at all. I think it's just made up because you guys morphed two different religions together. How could it be real? You just created something. Got y'all lost in fake religions, fake stories, all different types of stuff. Meanwhile, not only are they taking the money to the bank and leaving with it, but they're coming up with all types of loopholes, cryptocurrency, and all types of dumb stuff. It's like, from the dollar, you were supposed to go back to gold and silver. You was always supposed to go back to gold and silver. It doesn't matter what they're telling you. You were supposed to always go back to what is matter, material, minerals, stuff that will never go bad. No, y'all want to go higher with them. You know what I'm saying? And turn into some crypto, Bitcoin bullshit. It's like, bro, you crazy.
In here, to everything.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. A nation of people who are willing to send their sons and daughters that they profess that they love to a foreign country to die, and they use the excuse to themselves that they're sending them off to defend our country, and they know damn well that's a lie, are doomed.
Yeah. Now think about Ukraine. Now think about all the different stuff that's going on. Think about everything. Think about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like think about everything. I mean, once you just put it all together, it's like, who the fuck is allowing groups of people to remain stuck in bickering with each other. The same one too. This is everybody talk about they ain't a plantation slave, but y'all show doing some plantation slave stuff, arguing with each other, going back and forth for no reason, when at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. And that motherfucker is that none of you have been on a boat. They gave you a bunch of stories, but nigga, they told us about a place that didn't exist, and he called some people some like a name that they couldn't be because it doesn't exist. It don't exist. So it's like, if it don't exist, bro, how could he call it something? How could he call it something that it is not? Talking about Indians because of India. That's the biggest fatal flaw that they have. Like, that's the biggest mistake that they have. And it goes back to clearly understanding why there's a certain group that they didn't want to read. They keep saying this shit. These people weren't allowed to read. I'm like, I'm not even gonna claim no slave shit. I'm claiming the indoctrination camps. Excuse me, the schooling. These people weren't allowed to read, but you taught them what you wanted them to read. All right, 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Yeah, he meets up with some Indians because he died in India. But he was really in the West Indies. Like that can exist without this word Indian. West Indies can't exist without the word Indian, but there is no Indians. In West Indies, you're calling that Hispaniola. So it's like, there is no West Indies. What are you talking about? But what are we talking about? That's why the word Hispanic makes no sense. How the fuck is all y'all from Haiti and Dominican Republic? Only Hispaniola was that rock. That's it. Fucking such names. See, they keep crazy. That's why you got Latinx. So you got Afro American, African American, Negro, colored. She goes on and on. All I'm saying is I've seen a lot of intellectual masturbation. You know what I'm saying? Even got people like Dolo the flight boss. Now he out here talking about, oh yeah, the Abos and the Pan Africans. Like, hold up, nigga. Use a star wonder. You know what I'm saying? Use a wonder star guy. You know what I'm saying? You all in the fucking air, nigga. They saying we never even got off the ground. So what the fuck is that gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Ain't you one of them niggas trying to read niggas' palms and shit? Got the cards and you know about all the esoteric, like, I mean, not esoteric, astrology and all that shit. Is like, you a horoscope ass nigga. How you gonna come in here and talk about some shit that you ain't never even brought the fuck up? You ain't never even said this shit, motherfucker. Like, fuck out of here. I say that to say this. It's been checkmated. The 1492 Indians from India, that is it. And then, like I said, the name being changed to India in 1947 with the same dude in power that was the 33rd president, he gets to rock all this different shit. The CIA, the United Nations, all this shit is created around him. The Roswell crash, all this shit is around him. Come on, bro. And here's the funny thing: the Roswell crash is the same year as something else that he did. I think Roswell crash is the same year he made the CIA, which is crazy, yo. Peep game, y'all see what it is. Just understand, man. Dudes need to start, going for the juggling, man. Enough for that trying to prove, You're right. Now let's start dealing with why is this shit connected? Why is it all together? Why is it all going down on one particular group and on one particular landmass? We talk all that stuff about Africa all we want. Man, come on, man. They've been around. And I've been heard a couple of them say they don't even fuck with us like that. So it's like, that was their problem. We got to do with our issue. Goes.